I'm going to show you 3 ways to play a 12-bar blues progression in the key of E. And instead of doing this, now you're doing this. Hey everybody, welcome to John's Guitar Lounge. I'm Johnny Stewart, and today I'm going to show you 3 ways to play a 12-bar blues progression in the key of E. And there's going to be a very simple way, then more of an intermediate way, and then a little bit more of a complicated way. But you can play all 3, and I'm going to show you how. Now, if you enjoy this video and you find it helpful, then I'm going to ask you to please like it here on YouTube, because that tells YouTube to push it out to other people so they can learn from it too. So the very first way that you can play a 12-bar blues progression in the key of E is by using 3 chords that I've shown in previous videos, and I'll link those here so you can see them, but they are the E chord, and an open A chord, and a B chord. And those are the 1, 4, and 5 chords when you're in the key of E. And so what that means is, in the key of E, the E is the 1, and then you go up 2, then 3, then 4 is the A chord, and then 5 is the B chord, and then 6 and 7, and then 8 or 1, back to E again. So 1, 4, and 5. Now you've got to count 2 different things in this, because you've got to count the 1, 4, and 5 chords, but you've also got to count to 12, and that's for the 12 bars, or 12 measures in the song, and that's for one whole verse. So there are 12 measures in a 12-bar blues verse, and we'll be playing our E chord for the first 4 measures, then we'll be playing our A chord for the 5th and 6th measures, then we'll be going back to the E chord for measures 7 and 8. Then for measure number 9, we're going to go to the B, then we're going to stay on the B for 10, and then we're going to go back to the E chord for 11. And something that other lessons don't do sometimes, for the 12th measure, I'm going to go back to the B, because that's going to be for the turnaround to get into the next verse. Now we'll keep a nice easy tempo for this example, but you can do this as fast or as slow as you want to while you're learning, and for the feel of the song. Here we go. 1, we're on the E, and 2, we're still on the E, and 3, on the E, and 4, on the E. Now 5, we switch to the A, and 6, we're still on the A. Now 7, we're back to the E, and 8, we're still on the E. 9, we move to the B. Then 10, we stay on the B. 11, we're back to the E. And now for 12, we're back to the B. And now back to 1 again. And 2. And you can just keep going around and around like that, as many times as you want to, and it just repeats and repeats and repeats. Now for the very last time you play it, for the very end of the song, instead of going back to the B at the end, just stay on the E for measure 12. Now that's the first way. Now for the second way, I'm going to show you a little bit of a funkier way you can do it. And that is by using dominant 7th chords. So instead of just playing the open chords, the open E, the open A, and the B, it's not really an open B, but the B down at that part of the neck, we're going to play 7th chords. And I've got a video on 7th chords, but for the purposes of this lesson, to make a dominant 7th chord when you're playing an E, or a flat 7, we're just going to take our ring finger right off the fretboard, so right off the strings. And so instead of having that ring finger in that traditional E chord shape on your D string on the 2nd fret, we're just going to take that finger right off. So you're only going to be using these 2 fingers, and they're going to stay right where they always do for a regular E chord. But now listen to it. Hear that flat 7? That's the D, and that's the flat 7. So instead of it sounding like this, it's going to sound like this. Now, similar thing for an A chord. Instead of playing the A chord like that with all 3 of these fingers, we're going to take our middle finger off. So at the risk of giving you the bird, we won't be using these 2 fingers at all. We're going to take them right off. We're just going to be using these 2 fingers, and those will be in the regular position as we would for a normal A chord, but now it's going to sound like this. So instead of like this, it's going to sound like this. And then for a B, now this is where it's going to get a little bit trickier maybe, but trust me, you can do it. Now I've got a bunch of videos on how to play bar chords, and I've got a few videos on how to play these two-fingered bar chords, like this, for how to play a B chord. Now, this is really going to be easier, I think. Playing a B7 chord, I think, is easier than playing a regular B, especially if you're having trouble making that shorter bar across just those 3 strings with your ring finger. So what we're going to do for this now is you're going to keep that index finger barred right across the 2nd fret for your top 5 strings, just like you would for a regular B chord. But now, instead of having to press that ring finger across there, all you're going to do is you're going to take your ring finger and you're going to put that just on your D string on the 4th fret. And then you're going to take your pinky finger and you're going to put that just on your B string on the 4th fret. So it's going to sound like this. And let's get that closer so you can see it. See, you're barring right across there. And instead of doing this, now you're doing this. So now let's play right through it on a verse just like before, same tempo. So 1, we're going to be on the E7. 2, same thing. 3, same thing. Measure 4, same thing. Now bar 5, we're on the A7. Bar 6, same thing. And bar 7, back to the E. 7. And 8. Then bar 9, we go to the B7. And bar 10, we're on the B7 also. Then 11, we're back to the E7. And then back to the B7. And that's the turnaround. And then we go back to 1 again. Now, trust me, it is going to take you some time to shift from the E7 to the B7. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take you time to figure out exactly where to put those fingers, and that's okay. But trust me, do this every day for a little while a day, a few turnarounds and stuff, and trust me, in a week or 2, you're going to be doing it a lot better. In a month, you'll be doing it even better still, and it'll seem natural to you. You can also mix these up if you want to. So instead of just always using the E7 chord, or always using the full E chord, or the A, the same thing like that too, or the B, you can also mix these in. What's typically done would be this. E for bar 1, then bar 2, still on the E, then bar 3, still on the E. Now for bar 4, we're going to lift up our ring finger and do the E7. And then that'll lead into the A, and then the A7, lift up that middle finger, then back to the E, and stay on the E for the 8, then the B for 9, then for 10 the B7, then back to the E for 11, and then for 12 you can go back to the B or B7. And the reason that works so well is this. Let me play it all the way through for you, and I'll sort of hum a little melody, like a bluesy sort of melody or something for you, so you can hear how it works in action. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. So now you know a few different ways to play a 12-bar blues in the key of E, which will mean you can play with a lot of people and jam and have some fun, play around with it, learn it, do whatever you want with it. And let me know what else you want to see in the comments below. Tell me if you liked this lesson, like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you got something out of it, which I really hope you did, subscribe to my channel for more, and I will see you next time right here in John's Guitar Lounge. Take care.